Good evening, my dear believers. Welcome to the Bedtime Priest channel. I am your priest, your night watchman, and your bedtime guide. On this channel, we will delve into stories that are both thrilling and chilling. But fear not, for even as the shadows from the stories roam the night, my voice will be with you, offering comfort and protection. Now, let's dim the lights, snuggle into our warm beds, and embark on tonight's thrilling journey. Are you ready? Let us together step into the world of Bedtime Priest. I'm sitting here, still shaken. It's 4:15 in the morning, and I just found my wife outside. It's a complicated situation, and I'm still trembling, but I'll try my best to explain it clearly. A few years ago, we were living in another house. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night to a noise coming from the other end of the house. I quietly opened the bedroom door and saw that the light was on in my wife's study near the kitchen. The house we lived in at the time was only a short distance from a not-so-safe neighborhood, so my first reaction was that someone had broken in and was going through my wife's things. But I remembered that just a few hours earlier, she had gone to bed with me, and logically, she should still be there. I tiptoed across the house, prepared to confront the intruder. But when I reached the study, I found out it was my wife. It turned out I hadn't fully woken up and had subconsciously assumed she was still in bed. She had just woken up in the middle of the night, unable to sleep, and went to the study to scroll through Facebook or something. I almost mistook my own wife for a thief. In our current house, there's a screen door and a wooden door. The wooden door has a security lock, so if you go out without a key, you won't be able to get back in unless you get the hidden spare key or knock on the door or window for someone to let you in. About an hour ago, I was woken up by the sound of the front door. I immediately grabbed my phone and pulled up the security camera feed installed by the front door. To my surprise, I saw my wife standing outside, shivering slightly. There was no doubt. It was her. We've been married for over 10 years. I know exactly what my wife looks like. She was wearing a white nightgown, and it was unmistakably her. I had no idea why she was outside, but there she was. Feeling confused, I turned over and saw my wife sound asleep beside me in bed. Remembering what happened once before, I pointed my phone screen at her to double-check. It was definitely her, and she was definitely fast asleep. At this point, I was completely bewildered. I got up and walked through the house toward the front door. As I entered the living room, our cat looked up at me sleepily. Normally, she's incredibly curious about any sound from outside. If she'd heard the screen door, she'd already be at the door to see what was happening. But now, she seemed as though she hadn't heard anything at all. I stood by the door and asked, "Who's there?" "It's me. Let me in. I'm freezing out here." I heard a noise outside and went to check, but I forgot the keys in my bag, she replied. It sounded exactly like my wife's voice. Her tone, accent, even the detail about where she keeps her keys, all matched perfectly. But I was still uncertain because I had just seen her lying in bed, asleep. "Hold on a second," I said to her, then turned and went back to the bedroom. I woke my wife up and said, "This is so freaking weird. You need to see this." I opened the camera app and showed her the live feed of the front door. She was still standing outside, looking around with a confused expression, as if wondering why I wasn't just unlocking the door to let her in. My wife asked, "What the hell? When did you record this?" I told her, "This isn't a recording, it's live. You're standing outside the front door right now. I just went and asked who it was, and the voice said it was you, that you're freezing out there because you forgot your keys in your bag." My wife immediately got up and looked out the bedroom window, which has a clear view of the front porch. She gasped and quickly drew the curtains. She turned back to me, and I'll never forget the look on her face. She was terrified. "That's me," she said. At this point, I was completely at a loss. I was fully awake, talking to my wife. I could feel her presence, touch her myself, Yet at the same time, she was standing outside wearing what she had on today. Same hair, same glasses, everything was identical. We walked to the living room, and I grabbed my large flashlight, a solid metal one, extremely bright, which could also serve as a weapon if necessary. Once we were back at the door, I asked, "What's your name?" She said her full name, including her middle name, perfectly correct. "When's your birthday?" She gave the date, also correct. "What did we have for dinner tonight?" She listed exactly what we ate, even adding that I'd made it, which was absolutely right. I could hear my real wife standing beside me, struggling to control her breathing, as she was completely terrified. I gently touched her and whispered, "Ask her something only you would know." She steadied herself, thought carefully, and then asked, "Last time we went to my parents' house, what did my dad change about my old room?" The person outside paused for a moment, then said, "Who's in there with you? Why won't you let me in? You know it's me. You're driving me insane. Is that my voice you're hearing? Who's that with you? What's going on?" I said, "Answer the question. What was different about your room last time we visited your parents?" Another pause. Finally, the person outside answered, They added a bed because Max and Damien, my brother-in-law's two kids, sleep there when they visit your parents." My wife beside me suddenly gasped. At that moment, we were both utterly terrified. I took her hand, led her back to the bedroom, and turned on all the lights. We stayed completely awake, watching the security camera feed, too scared to let our guard down. That person walked around to the backyard, probably to look for the spare key, but that was 40 minutes ago, and I haven't seen her since. I absolutely don't dare go to sleep because I'm terrified that whoever knows everything about my wife might find the spare key and come inside. I have no idea who the hell that is, what they want. I just can't let myself fall asleep. The story has come to a pause, my dear believers. I wonder if you're feeling a bit of a shiver right now. But remember, no matter how unsettling the tales may be, your priest is right here, guarding your dreams. So don't be afraid. Close your eyes and drift off to sleep peacefully. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you can join me every night. Good night, and may God bless you with sweet dreams.